And tonight, actually, it's almost nighttime, Tuesday night here in my world, in the United States. I'm here to do some readings for you guys. My name is Darlene. I often forget to say that. So I will wait for a few of you to get here while I post and pin my comment. Bear with me while I do that. Let's see, we want to do this, okay. And also mute your device so that doesn't happen. All right. Oh, you're here already, Pama. Thank you. I'm actually late getting here because they were using chainsaws to cut up a big tree limb outside my house. And anyway, so I just kind of had to wait till they finished. So that worked out perfectly, didn't it? Just a second here. Let me get myself pulled up so I can see the chat better. Here we go. All right, good to go. Deborah, how are you tonight? Ooh, all right, let me catch my breath, y'all. I've been pushing. Now, Pama, I will say I'm going to go ahead and do your reading. Well, I think, here's the thing. I've posted here that I'm going to do one free reading, and what that usually means is the chat's going to start growing crazy with people requesting that, and I need to be sure one of my moderators is going to show up to handle that for me. So if y'all will, just bear with me for a couple of minutes. Usually that reading goes anyway because it's for a new subscriber that's never had a reading with me before. So that's what I'm waiting for. And we can just hang out for a minute and wait for that to happen. But I tell you what, change user, Pama, would you go ahead and post your question for me now, and then I'll be ready to start on your reading as soon as I get this other thing situated. And appreciate you working with me so much, and our emails back and forth, by the way. And what kind of martial art are your sons, daughters? I don't know. You said doing. I'm curious. Jay is here. Jay's at the movies having fruit bowls during intermission. Okay, Jay. Well, hey, thanks for saying hello. Love you for that. Okay, you just want to know about money. All righty. Now, is there anything specific? Is it career? Are you expecting an inheritance? Are whatever. Then give me the more information you can give me, the more narrow of an answer I can give you. Taekwondo, all right, very cool. My primary martial art was Aikido, although I have ranks in several, but that was the one I loved most. Hello, Darlene, from one Darlene to another Darlene. All right, let me go back up here now. I'm going to have to put glasses on. And let me go and get a deck out real quick. So, good people, here's the way this works. Don't post your question here. I'm going to ignore it. But if someone wants a reading and you've never had a reading with me, you are a brand new subscriber and you've never had a reading for me, you simply put in the chat, I would like a free reading. And then once that spot's filled, that's done and done. Okay. And Pama wants to know about what's coming in money. Y'all excuse me 1 second while I make a couple of notes here. Oh, I love that. Yes, because you're trying to manifest. Have you been watching me talk about manifestation, Pama? I love Penny's declaring it. Great. See, nobody's following the rules here, so nobody's getting the free reading. Everybody's throwing their question in there and nobody's listening. I'm going to be a stickler about this tonight. Well, that's good though, Pama. Absolutely. A lot of people are starting to discover more spiritual things, and manifestation is one of those, I happen to think. Well, there we go. Finally, somebody who listened, and it would be a Darlene. Of course it would. All right, Darlene, that free reading is yours because you followed the rules. All right. Now, Darlene, I'm going to ask you to hang around a bit. Chaotic, the free reading has been spoken for. So, all right, here's what we're going to do. I have a viewer, Pama, who has already prepaid for a mini read, so I'm going to do her first. Then, Darlene, I will do yours. And then anybody else who wants a reading, you can purchase that. The link is pinned at the top of the chat. And for the rest of you, I want to apologize for, I don't know if you can see this in the camera, you probably can't. I've got a huge situation and I put makeup on to help, but it's uber red and it's nasty. And this is me treating for pre-cancer on my nose, and it turns my skin horrible and all that. But in the end, it makes it go away. So it's pretty yucky to look at, and not a thing I can do about it. So, whatever. All right, I'm going to start with Pama then. And shout out to Gabe Honors that have a birthday today. Well, all right. Happy birthday. Now, I want to ask for Pama. We're going to ask about, she wants to know what kind of, I said she. You didn't tell me. I don't know. I just said she. Maybe. Pama wants to know what's coming money-wise. So let's ask. Please and thank you. You're very welcome, Hippo. Mike Hunt's also having a birthday. Well, everybody's having a birthday. Where's my birthday? Happy birthday, Mike. I thought, well, I say that sometimes and then I think, when I say that because you feel, your energy felt like a she, but I can be wrong about that. I'm not always right. Jay, you were so sweet that you're doing this in your intermission. I know you can't stay, but you're a love for doing it. Thank you. I know tonight wasn't going to be a good night for most of the mods, but I was hoping somebody would come. Do you know, I'm going to do this a little different for you, Pama, so bear with me. didn't feel that deck was quite right. Okay. First, I'm going to ask a yes or no question, and this is just my process, so I will speak to you momentarily. Well, Ollie, I'm glad you said that. Thank you, because I am very self-conscious about this thing I got going on with my face right now, and it's driving me nuts. All right, we're going to start this one more time. I'm going to not look at the chat. So for those of you I'm not saying hello to, it's not personal. I'm in the reading right now, and I want to focus on this for Pama. Oh, did you? How cool that you felt that. Yeah. You know, I already had it in my hand. Normally, I put the decks down and ask what deck. And I already had it in my hand, and I just kind of out of habit started shuffling. So that's cool that you could feel that. And then I said, no. Well, shoot. All right, hold on. That doesn't look very happy. I don't want that answer. Maybe we should try third deck. What do you think? Hey, Michelle. Good evening. And Pro Ghost Hunter. I like that handle. I talk to the dead people if you need any help with that. Show me what's coming toward, and everything is good. Thank you for asking, and I hope the same for you. Show me, please, what's coming toward Pama money-wise, please. Oh, Mirror, you are a lifesaver. Thank you. I haven't seen you in a while. Are you all right? Are you all right out there in the world? Wanted to come out. No. That card has shown itself twice, and it's a card of remorse and regret. Now, I'm wondering if it's just saying that's what's in your energy, because a lot of times, Pama, my readings reflect what's in your energy, not necessarily specifically like what's the potential. So let me get into this a minute. I have to dig. So. Hey, Mirror, if you can stay and moderate, I would be so grateful, because Jay is actually here, but he's in intermission at a movie, so he can't stay. Ooh, is that a dream, Michelle? That's cool. Oh, that's awesome. Well, congratulations on the new job. That is awesome, Mira. I'm hoping you're loving it. That's the same card that came out from that other deck. I have a weird question to ask you, Pama. Thank you, Mira. You'd be a lifesaver, because I know my other mods are kind of busy tonight. If you could stay, I'd be so grateful. So, Pama, I have a question for you. Have you been feeling like punishing yourself or feeling guilty about something? I know that's a strange question. there's a very weird energy here, and this card has shown itself twice. This is the card of self-sabotage, winning at all costs. Now, in the reverse, it can mean somebody who used to be that way and now wants to make amends. So is that you? Are you feeling you want to make amends about some things? Ah, yes, ma'am. Okay. Thank you. That would also explain the Five of Cups I kept seeing, which is the card of remorse and regret. Okay. Because that's in your energy. That's why these cards are coming out, because of something that's in your energy. So I have to talk about that. Okay. And no judgment, by the way. No judgment here. Just need to know. It helps me discern the meaning of the cards. You are so sweet. I'm not very beautiful tonight. I was just talking about before you got here. I've got this mess going on with my face right now. It's killing some precancer cells, and it looks awful. But, thank you. You're a sweetheart for saying that. Hang on 1 second, guys. Give me one minute. I got a lot going on tonight. My apologies. 1 second. Oh, come on. Where is it? Shoot, I can't find it right now. Sorry, guys. It's something I needed to handle, and I couldn't. I'll have to deal with it later. My apologies. Oh, Adia, you are here. Oh, yay. I feel saved. If people here. Oh, really? I was just reading Pro Ghost Hunter's comment. Well, that's good. We'll stick around. Well, I'm still waiting on pictures, Level Up Dojo. You told me you were going to do that. All right, so back to Pama. By the way, thank you for being very patient as I multitask here. Wow. All right. Now, also I need to tell you, Pama, that tarot often gives me a backstory before it answers the question. Okay, so this is not necessarily predictive, and that's why I like you to be here, so you can help me out here and tell me what, if this has already happened, then I can move on to what's coming towards you. So this talks about the hermit pulling back, going into the cave, isolating even, but for the purpose of getting inspiration or maybe even an epiphany about something. So it's like, whatever, if life is too much or things happen, whatever, you pull back, you like I said, not to the extreme of isolation, but that you could. And I think I don't know if this is you or some other element in your life, but kind of feels like you. And I know we're talking about money, but bear with me, please. This is the Knight of Wands in reverse, and it refers to something being inconsistent, in and out. Now, I don't know if that's talking about you again, or somebody in your life, or some other situation. This could be, it could literally be money, because that's what we ask about, right? Thank you, Jay. You guys are awesome. Thank you, Mira. But there's been some kind of inconsistent energy. Could just be saying that's about your income, inconsistent energy. And, but at the same time, and I'm saying that because this is saying you're trying to heal. Now, you told me you were working on manifestation, so this could actually be referring to that. Maybe you decided to pull away from all this nonsense that was going on in your life, or maybe you felt like things weren't consistent, and so you decided to pull back. This is another card of resting, pulling back, meditating, taking a time out in order to get a new beginning or to start something new. This is also taking a leap. This is the Fool card. And all of that might have been, oh, Lord have mercy. Now I got 5 moderators. 4, 3. I could kiss each and every one of y'all. Thank you so much for helping out here. But I feel like it comes back to this issue of maybe what motivated you to start changing this to this new beginning. I feel like it's tied to this manifestation, wanting to manifest. We're learning about that. Is whatever this was, whatever you're feeling guilty about, or feeling like you want to make nice about. Let's say it like that. Now, Spirit is trying to help you find balance in your life. And this is the card that talks about saving money. And I'm getting this message here. I don't think you're doing what you love, and that's affecting your money. Now, we can't all quit our jobs today just to go do what we love, because we still have to pay bills. But either this is someone in your life, this could literally be a person, it could be you. It talks about a lack of love or emotional, and it can be neediness. The Queen of Cups in the reverse can speak of codependence or neediness. Or it could just be saying, again, because we're asking about money, you're not doing what you love. So, Pama, what can you weigh in on this and tell me where we are, if this is resonating for you, before I go any further, please? And then we'll go a little deeper. Because I like that the Fool is here. Sticky. Okay, yes. Okay, good. Would you say that's the backstory? That's clear to you. Awesome. All right, so I want to keep going then. Thank you for acknowledging that. So what is this? So assuming, I'm going to assume this is sort of the backstory, bringing us to where you are now, I think is what it feels to me like. Okay. I love, Jay, that you post that when people, I do love that. And guys, I haven't made that to my moderators. I haven't, and members. I've got to write myself a note to do that. Post in the community tab. Post in the community that I'll be going live for members only on Thursday evening. So just wanted y'all to know that. Okay. There we go. Now, I feel like I've established this is the backstory, Pama. Let's get more into what's coming. How much does it take to learn tarot? Well, Raphael, tarot is just a tool. There's 78 cards, and they do have archetypal meanings. Naturally, that would depend on the person, how fast a learner you are, how much time you have to devote to it. That being said, it's more about the reader. It's more about cultivating your intuition, because you can just look at a picture and tell, like, what is this? Using your intuition now, looking at that picture, what does that tell you? What are you feeling inside of you? What messages might you get just from the visual picture? So it's a lot about that for readers. So it's about cultivating your intuition and then picking up a tool, whether that's tea leaves or coffee grounds or tarot, and then using your intuition. Okay, Pama, well, we like that. Speaking of the Lover's card, isn't that funny that that's the card I used as that example, and then it's the one that came out? So the Lover's card is about making a choice. We're not doing a love reading here. And it was originally called The Choice. Sometimes it's a choice in love, or sometimes it's a choice to do something you love or don't love. Thank you, Jay. All right. So, guys, if you're here and you're wanting a reading, the free reading is already spoken for. You'll have to purchase a mini read, and that link is pinned. That link and the information is pinned at the top of the chat. They are $20 if you're paying through Super Chat, or $15 if you're paying through PayPal. Well, Pama, this is interesting. Give me 2 more cards, and then I may clarify 1 or 2 of these. And my readings are not 2-card readings, by the way, if you haven't noticed. Good thing y'all are not paying me by the minute. YouTube Pro Ghost Hunter, thanks for dropping by. Okay, whoops. Wow, this is interesting because I got nothing here, not one. Let me look. Yeah. Now, in all these cards, I know you can't even see them all. Some of them are not even on camera that have come out. Not one of these is a pentacle, which is what you want to see in a money reading. Not one of them. So you definitely have something else going on. And well, and now we've got the bottom of the deck. I have to look. So, okay, there's something that you either have to end. It's probably already ended, and you're not either letting it go, or you're emotionally having a hard time letting it go, or resisting the ending of something, Pama. Because I feel like, because right after this card that talks about endings fell, that's when I looked at the bottom of the deck, and that's when the money starts coming in. So there's something here that you're not, excuse me, done processing. Page of Swords in reverse. So, for example, let me give you an example. If, for example, you, I can think of 2 examples. You were in a relationship that wasn't working out, and you broke up, and now, you know, you're curious about what they're up to. Or you were in a job that maybe the company downsized and they let you go, and then the next thing you know, they didn't close their doors and they've hired somebody else to do your job, you know. So there's something, some element here, either of that, like you're spying on somebody, Page of Swords in reverse, or this could just be saying you're not communicating, or maybe if you've put in a job offer somewhere, they're not communicating with you. And you're feeling kind of stuck at this crossroads right now, like I can't make a decision. You've got some fear going on here, and there are things that you can't see, secrets very possibly. I feel like these cards are tied together, secrets. And it's clear you're not happy, whatever this is, you're not happy, and I think you've kind of put yourself, so because of these cards too, that talk about isolation, it feels like you put yourself in kind of a timeout here. And while that seemed like a good idea, and I'm not saying it's not, now you're starting to feel a little stuck. The Hangman puts himself in a timeout, but he does that so that he can get a new perspective. He knows he needs to get a new perspective. And that's what I feel you're doing when you're talking about manifestation. But I think it has to do, it's more like, instead of positively moving forward into this new manifestation, it feels energetically like you're still stuck in this old energy down here because of an ending, that you're still that's still in your energy. Does that make sense? And Spirit is saying that because of this, with me as a reader, I take flyers, but I always look at the bottom of the deck, because when the flyers come out, when I look at the bottom of the deck, this is sort of what's fueling this story here is at the bottom of the deck. And kind of like, what's the real scoop here? Well, the real scoop is this is what you're headed for. You're headed toward, and this is what's the potential for you is that you're going to be just fine. Money's going to be good. You're independent. You've been liberated from whatever that's been maybe holding you back. I feel like it's this ending over here. This means you're going to be able to take care of yourself. She's very independent, and she is the minor arcana version of the Empress. So you're on your way to becoming an Empress when you get this card, in my opinion, as a reader. It's saying either you've been saving your money or you maybe need to save your money, but you're about to be very, very happy here. This is, and we ask about money, so this is talking about both of those, happiness and money here. It either could be that you're finally liberated from something. This could be a relationship. It could be a job. Again, it feels like it's going along here with the, wait, you made a comment. Let me see. Okay. Thank you. She's saying, yes, I'm trying to move away from an old thing that happened some time ago. Okay. Thank you for affirming that for me. But because it's coming up in your card, it's just acknowledging that it's still in your energy. So, hello, honey love. How are you tonight? And Cherie is here. Good evening, Cherie. And Kathleen's here. Now, what I was saying, these are very, very positive, happy cards for happiness and love. Excuse me, happiness and money. But this guy, now this is not a love reading. If it was, I would be saying somebody's coming riding in on their white horse, right, telling you how they feel. But because it's not a love reading, this is speaking more to the saying that, again, focusing on what you love, whether that's in order to change your vibration, because you have to be in a positive, loving, happy vibration to attract anything you want, right? Could be saying loving yourself, nurturing yourself, taking care of yourself, some self-love, self-care. But I feel like part of this is saying doing what you love, and I'm not sure you found that yet. You definitely need to put this behind you, this heartache, because I feel like part of this is, and you didn't ask me this, you haven't shared this information, but it feels like you haven't really found your, let's call it, calling or niche or the thing that you feel passionate about. I don't get the sense. Or if you have, you haven't, it hasn't come to fruition. Because I get a sense that that's really, you didn't ask that, but I feel that in the background of this reading. Or maybe you've been asking for that. Because it looks to me like so far you're not sure about what to invest in for the long term for yourself. Because you don't really, you've been unhappy for one thing. And could be saying you don't know what's going to make you happy. And that's what you have to figure out to get to this King of Pentacles where your money is excellent. Are you, oh, yes, exactly. Awesome, awesome. Thank you again for affirming that, because that didn't come from these cards really. That's exactly what I was saying earlier about reading tarot. Oftentimes I feel or hear a story, and then I'll look at the card and say, oh, I see how that could back up that story. So for me, it's kind of opposite sometimes when I read. I want to point out too, you have some kind of negative patterns around money. I don't know if you know this. That could be the very reason you're trying to work on manifesting that money. But look at this combination here. The Six of Wands in the reverse with the very thing that you want, which is this is basically the universe coming and giving you a brand new opportunity. This is a financial good luck, whatever, money, job, whatever coming to you. After you release yourself from what's been holding you back. This is the Devil card. This talks about toxicity and being, now it's in reverse, which is good. So this means being released from something that was either toxic or in some way held you back. And, because I know, yeah, and not everybody reads tarot. Sometimes I forget. This Six of Wands is in reverse like that, talks about something being a failure, not working out, or, yeah, that's what it feels like in this context. So I just feel like you've had, maybe it's how you were raised, maybe it's how, what your family told you, like, for example, a lot of women, in fact, I've noticed, thankfully this is changing, but a lot of women are told when they're young that women aren't the breadwinners, women don't work, women, they can get a little fun job, but they're not breadwinners, they don't, they shouldn't have careers, they should be home in the kitchen with the kids. And so if you've got something like that going on, you may not even know it, but it's in your subconscious, and so it's thwarting this ace coming into you. It's, in other words, it's keeping it at bay, pushing it away. That would be that self-sabotage that we talked about. And so it's real important to get clear about those patterns. Let me see what you're saying here. Wow, that's exactly the cognition I was raised in. There was a lot, yeah, there were a lot of me. Oh my gosh. Well, it feels like that's probably at the root of this for you. Now, there may be other things, and I think there are, but that feels like a big one for you. And so you've got to change that. That's deep in your psyche, and you've been carrying it around for a long time. And as I say here on this channel, it's you can really be a good manifester, but you have to be aware that, of course, I have no idea how old you are, but for example, if you're 35 years old and you've been carrying around that with that tape running in the back of your subconscious mind all this time, then you've got a lot of momentum built up around that issue. So don't give up. Don't think that manifestation is not working. You just have to work on that issue specifically in order to affect the manifestation. And then you've got to be patient and consistent, because it takes a while to turn that big bus around, so to speak. And so the issue feels, because I think this is your biggest one, and is why it came out. So the way I would work with that issue, Pama, is starting by acknowledging it. Oh, I see, this was a seed that was planted back childhood or whatever, and I see how this is affecting me, so let me work on that first, okay? Instead of just going straight to the, I'm a millionaire, you should work on this first. And I always tell people, whatever the issue is, start affirming the opposite of that. Start trying to help yourself believe whatever the opposite of that is. Like, women can be breadwinners. Women are great corporate heads of corporation, and they can be millionaires, and they can do this and they can do that, and whatever you tell the story, like you would like it to be. Always looking to kin to take care of me instead of being my own power. I understand that. I was raised in that generation too. My mom was a little different though. My mother did work, but she worked in my dad's company. Like, she was the secretary in his company. So it wasn't quite like she was out there, being Miss Career Woman. But if you have that tape running in your head, you will never be able to manifest if you don't address that first. So that, I think, is the big message for you. This is the potential. If you can do that and shift that, this is the potential. Again, she's independent, secure, she's got lots, her money's really good. She knows who she is, she's confident. Yep. You're able to save money, and you're, and happy. So I feel like that's, again, and that's at the root of what has kept your money at bay. And I'd like to see you start working on that. Now, I always recommend people watch Men, Not Ken. Still, I knew what you meant, because, Barbie and Ken, it was, I knew what you meant. Good. You're saying, I'll work on removing the old pattern and behavior from my timeline. Perfect. Boy, I couldn't ask for a better response. Absolutely perfect. Pama, that's awesome. And, there may be other issues, but that's a big one. Work on that one first is what I would recommend. And then, I don't know who you have been going to and learning about manifestation, but I particularly really love Abraham Hicks, because, she has a lot of good techniques, like she talks about how to work yourself up the emotional ladder, which is a very important, I think, piece of manifestation. It's hard to go from women aren't supposed to make money to I'm $1 million career person overnight. So she gives you tools and talks about those kind of things. So I like her a lot. She's probably my favorite. And then, of course, there are lots of other good ones. Neville, I have a hard time with his name every time I say it. Neville Goddard was one of the first people to talk about manifestation, and more modern people like Joe Dispenza is now using that and teaching meditation techniques around it and all that. So a lot of good people out there, though. Okay. So that's what I have for you, Pama. I hope that was helpful. I'm glad that you listened to him too. Yeah, there's, like I said, thankfully there are good ones. And thank heavens we have YouTube, right? So we have access to those people now. Okay, guys. Thank you so much, everybody, for chiming in and being here in the chat, by the way. And I also would be very grateful if y'all would tickle that little like button. That shows you appreciate me being here on a Tuesday night. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Pama. Again, appreciate you being such a good communicator with me today with the emails. That was helpful. Oh, you are very welcome. She says, that was amazing. Thank you so much for this reading today. Spot on. Awesome. Thank you. Well, since you said that, my marketing, I'm teasing, I'm not teasing. She's one of my moderators, Mish, but her specialty is marketing, and she's saying, get people to post testimonials. Well, I don't know how to ask for that. But if you go to my channel page, there's a community tab, and if you click on that community tab, you can make a comment there, and just, if you want to do that, fine. If you don't, that's okay too. But I am very grateful for any and all. I just appreciate y'all being here. Thank you. Okay. All right, let me move on now to Darlene. So Darlene is going to do a reading for Darlene. There aren't many of us in the world where, So Darlene, if you'll post your question, please, in the chat for me now. I would be grateful. Oh, that's such a kind thing to say, Pama. Thank you. She's saying, of course, I love how your readings are based on intuition. Thank you. Well, I don't know if you heard me say this. I would have been doing readings for 35 plus years, and I didn't pick up a tarot card till about 3 years ago. So that was not, I started out doing cold readings, like just sitting down and talking to somebody, and that's how I was trained. So, it's very sweet that you say that. That's really more my method. Again, that's why I harp on these are just a tool. Okay, Darlene, will things get better in my life? Well, they will if you believe they will, Darlene. I have to tell you. I talk a lot about law of manifestation here. That's the reading I was just talking about with Pama and how important that is. If you believe you're a victim, then no, it's never going to get better. And I'm just going to call it like it is. You're always going to be a victim of something. If you believe things happen to you, and now I don't know you, I'm not picking on you. I'm saying this because there are 90 people here listening too. And even though it might not be you, somebody out there might need to hear this. So if you go through life thinking things happen to me, things are always bad and this and that, then you're just going to get more of that, because what you think about, you bring about, right? So you have to get busy getting happy about something to raise your vibration. You have to be a match vibrationally for the thing you want. So if you're down here and I'm just not happy, nothing is ever working out for me, and you're vibrating at, hypothetically, let's say a 300, and what you really want up here is, I want a new job, I want a lover, I want happiness, I want family, kids, the picket fence, and that's at a 1500, These two are never going to find each other. And this is not going to come down here to you. So you have to raise your vibrational frequency, because everything is energy, up here to match the thing you want. So this is just a uber quick talk about that for you and everybody else that's here in the chat. So please educate yourself on the law of manifestation. It's also called the law of attraction or the law of assumption. And change your life. Start changing your life. But you have to get happy. If you are someone, any of you, 90 people out there, if you are looking at things outside of you to make you happy, it's not going to happen. It might happen for a minute or even an afternoon if you're lucky, but it's not lasting. The only true lasting happiness comes from in here, and only you can give yourself that. You know, that's why so many relationships fail. They're expecting that person to behave in a way that makes you happy. Well, I'm sorry, but they're not usually going to get that memo. They want to make themselves happy, not you. So, and this is true with any relationship, romantic ones especially. But you are responsible for making you happy. You know, it isn't the new car, it isn't the job, it isn't the lover, it isn't the whatever. You are. Those things are really nice to have. I like them too. But I don't look to those things for my happiness. I fill my own cup first. And when you do that more and more, things just start to come to you. I just had something this week. What was it? I had, excuse me. Well, shoot, I can't remember it now. Something that I had totally forgot about. And, you know, just, you think about it, it's, oh, yeah, that'd be nice to have. Think about it, it goes out. And anyway, it showed up. Right now, I can't think of what it was, but it was something, you know, just simple. And I'm laughing at myself because I had something else happen, and it kind of was the answer to something else. It wasn't a good thing, but my closet rod shelf completely collapsed yesterday. And it's funny because I'd been saying, I really need to get organized, and I really want to put my printer in here and not in the room it was in, and that's where the shelf was that collapsed. And so it kind of, that's a different thing that happened. So I had to laugh when it happened. Well, now you have to get busy and clear things out so you can... I had to laugh at myself. Darlene, I get it. Emotional and mental abuse from parents all your life. I get it, and thankfully I left home when I was 17, but I was also a victim of that. And you can pull yourself out of it. I consider myself I don't consider myself a survivor, I consider myself a thriver. And you can be too, but it takes hard work. Again, you cannot choose to be a victim and expect things to change. There's a quote, forgive me, I can't remember who said it. If you're not changing, you're choosing. In other words, you're choosing to stay just where you are, and everything else is going to stay just like it is if you are not changing internally. So this is up to you. It doesn't matter what's happened to you in life. That's old news. You know, what the words that are coming out of my mouth, the moment they come out of my mouth, that's old news. I can't do anything about that. And staying in that energy, and again, I'm not meaning to sound like I'm picking on you, but if you're still choosing to linger in that, well, they did that to me, that's why I'm not happy, then you're never going to pull yourself out of this. And I'm just giving it to you straight, sweetheart. I just am. The only way you're going to get out of this is if you do it. It was a really big aha moment for me along my spiritual journey was, I think I was waiting for somebody to come and rescue me. And one day, I don't know even what was going on in my life. I just had this really huge aha moment that, hey, nobody's coming to rescue you. You've got to rescue yourself. So that's kind of what really made me start doing more shadow work and exploration into more spiritual things, and learning about spirituality and meditating more and doing all the things I could to heal myself, because those people that hurt you are not ever going to do that for you. They're not ever going to come back and say, I'm really, really sorry that I did that. Well, that's not true. They might come back and say, I'm sorry. But what I'm saying, they can't take back what happened. No matter. They can't take it back. It's done. It's old news. So you have to make new news. You have to start telling the story in your life of how you want it to be. You have to start telling the story of how happy you are, of how content you are, how things are always working out for you, how miracles, you attract miracles every day, how your life is so abundant in all the ways, and name them, all the ways. You know, I am so blessed. I have, and I tell this a lot in my lives. I wake up every day, and before my feet hit the ground, I go down through a gratitude list. Thank you, God, for giving me another day. There are plenty of people who didn't wake up today. Thank you, God, for my strong, healthy body. Thank you, God, that my family are all well and doing good in the world. Thank you, God, that I have a roof over my head. Thank you, God, that I have a car to get me where I need to go. Thank you, God, that I have food in it. Thank you, God, I have a clean water and a toothbrush. Whatever it is, that's a really good starting place to change the energy in your life, is gratitude. Because gratitude has a certain frequency, a certain vibrational frequency. And so if you start there with things that you're grateful for and kind of get on a bit of a rampage about that, then you can go one step further into discovering, because it's sort of Abraham Hicks, as I was just speaking about, talks about this process. It's called getting yourself up the emotional ladder, is how she refers to it. So you can Google that process, or do a search rather for it here on YouTube, and you can get more tools from her. She has a lot of other. She does rampages. That's very helpful to listen to her. Anyway, so I feel like, you know, I can pull cards for you, but the energy I'm feeling is you are more, this is more about where you decide to point your energy. If you're still pointing your energy and your thoughts back at what has happened to you, the cards are just going to reflect that. If you point yourself toward the future and changing how you're thinking and feeling about things, that's when things can change. Then the potential changes and the cards change. So, you know, you tell me. But what I've just told you, and I hope everybody here was listening to that, that's the best. I give this advice on almost every live. I get tired of saying it sometimes, honestly, just because I don't want to hear myself talk about all that every single time. But it's what saved me, changed my life, and now I don't worry about money. I'd like to have more than I have maybe some days, or I'd like to buy this or buy that, you know, okay, but again, I don't depend on it. I don't think, oh, if I had that much money, I'd be happy. No, I don't do that anymore. Or if I had that person, or if I had this or that. I know that I can make myself happy without those things. And those, then I can still have those, but that's not how I choose to move through life. Did that help, Darlene? I certainly hope it did, because I just could feel, with your energy, I could feel how low you were feeling, and I also know, personally, how that kind of background, what a toll it takes on your self-esteem and your self-worth. And again, you can't make it not happen. You can't erase it. But you can move forward. You can look in a different direction and not give it any more power in your life. So every time you look back at it, every time you think about it even, it's like you're giving it power over you. So there's an important skill called pivoting. So when those thoughts come in and you start feeling low, or, well, if this hadn't happened to me, I'd be more successful, or I'd be more this or that, then you have to mentally get control of yourself and stop those thoughts and think something more positive. Pivot and look forward, not backward. So those are the things that I recommend for you, Darlene. I just feel like you're melancholy, I really want to say depressed, and not seeing a whole lot of hope. And I think it's because of you're just sort of sitting in that emotional stew that you've been in for a long time. And so it's with great love and optimism that I'm telling you the white horse is not coming, but you can get yourself out of that. You can do that for yourself. So I hope you know that I'm supporting you, and I hope you'll take some of this to heart and maybe look to the future now. Look to the future. And learn to meditate. That was a really also pivotal moment in my life. Meditation has been the best thing that I've ever done for myself. Honestly, it changes so much. The reason is because when you are able to go into a good state of meditation, it's like you're touching, I was trying to remember how Deepak Chopra says it. You're touching your state of perfection, which is not how we move around in this 3D, but it's like you're remembering, you're touching that energy, and every time you come out, you get to keep a little bit more of that every time, and you get to, it just changes you emotionally, spiritually, even biologically, physically, physiologically. So I highly recommend that. And I'm not saying that because I do have some videos on my channel about meditation. Doesn't matter where you learn to do it or who you pick as your teacher, but I do think it's a very important tool to help you. So I'm going to recommend you do that too, Darlene. And if you want to go see my videos, I have part 1, 2, and 3 in my video selection that you can follow along. So I hope that helps, and I wish you much luck. You don't need luck. You just need to love yourself. Seriously, that's such a trite, trivial thing to say to people these days. You hear it a lot, but in all honesty, it's really the secret to just about anything you want. You've got to love yourself. You've got to connect with love for yourself. Okay, now, I don't know where my other moderators went, and I think Jay's back to his movie, I'm presuming. Oh, Kelly. Ooh, juicy. Ooh, Kelly. Okay, we will ask. Thank you, darling. Thank you so much for the super chat. We'll ask. We'll see. Howdy, howdy. And Kelly, I think you were here when I said it last night. Hey, Mish, how you doing? Okay, so y'all were just hanging out in the background. I just didn't see anybody comment, and I thought maybe y'all had all left. Anyway, just to confirm, members only live is Thursday night. I haven't posted it on my community page. I'm going to try to remember that. I wrote myself a note. Oh, Mish, still owe you emails. I haven't scheduled a Zoom because I've had some unforeseeable things come up this week. So, didn't forget about you though. Now, what deck for Kelly, please? All right. We're going to ask, is Seth sleeping with other women? Let's see. Oh, interesting. I bet it was, Kelly. I felt that. I felt your hurting. I felt your emotions around that. I love that, Darlene. Hi from Darlene to awe. We got a lot of Darlenes up in here. Okay, I'm gonna, that's just a little peek. Let me get some cards on him. We're asking specifically, is he sleeping with somebody? I'm just gonna get a few more cards out here before I speak on it. It was the Chariot card, and it was in the upright, and that speaks about... No, wait. This is a different deck. Was that the Chariot or the... Wait a minute, because that matters. Or the Emperor. And, because they look a lot alike in this deck. Let me find it real quick. Sorry, Kelly. Oh, I think it was the Emperor. Hang on a minute. It was the Emperor. Okay. Well, that just means he likes to be in a authority. Okay, show me. No. All right. Show me, please. What are their energies around Seth for Kelly? Is he sleeping with other women? Show me, please. That is the options card. Let me get more, though. Doesn't mean he's doing it. He might be thinking about it. Yeah, this deck's... Okay, I don't... Where to start? Kelly, I don't have cards here that indicate that he is. I have a card here that would say maybe he's thinking about it. That's the Eight of Cups. This literally means having a lot of options. Now, sometimes that can be spoiled for choice, almost like a confusion. I don't know what direction to go, but most readers call this, in a love reading, having options. Okay, so and I feel like, no, hang on a minute. I'm just trying to get, it's a strange energy around this card, and I want to be sure I get it right for you. I'm wondering if you guys had a fight. I don't know if this is you and Seth having conflict. Sometimes this can be talking about competition, but I tell you what most readers don't usually talk about, some do, but is this card can also be perceived as training. Okay, so let me explain. In martial arts, certain martial arts, you train with these long wooden sticks. They're called either a bo or jo, depending on the martial art. And these people are actually, it's a training they're doing. It's not that they're trying to kill each other. They're training for something. So it's interesting, like I said, that these came out together, almost like he's, again, he's thinking about it. Maybe he's mentally training himself. But this can literally mean competition. But here's the interesting thing. This feels like he thinks he's got competition. So are you dating somebody else? This is what I'm feeling off of this. Or, I don't know, you've grown cold on him. He's grown, somebody here is really cold and vindictive here. Or feeling King of Swords in reverse. Real cold. So is this you or him? If this is not you, then we'd be talking about him. And maybe you guys had a fight and he's just wanting revenge or something. I don't know. But I ask about him. So that's why I feel I'm leaning toward this being, you're not currently dating him. Yeah, I said I didn't really think you were. But he is, it's like he's going back and forth. Do I want to keep doing this for the long time, or do I want to come in and offer? I feel like this is you, this Empress in reverse, because this talks about like not having any, not growing, not having any expansion. This is not relating to is he sleeping with somebody particularly. But the good news is I have no cards here that indicate that he is, although he may be thinking about it. That's really the short answer, but I'm going to get some more cards here. Because you know I don't do short. I don't do short and quick. So how else is he feeling? And show me. If he's sleeping with somebody, please give me those cards, Tarot. Because I'm not seeing it. I don't usually like to do straight up yes and no answers, Kelly. It's just not my style. Now the Justice card is here, so that can be, did you step out on him at some point in the past? Because that's almost, when the Justice card falls under these options, like I'm going to show you I've got options too. That could be just one story. This Justice card talks about things being fair and balanced, and what does this have to do with him, whether he's sleeping around or not? Because he wants to be in control, and he's not. Yeah, he's trying to control the situation. He can't control you. This is the Emperor. I think he may have thought so. That's more the vibe I'm getting here. That he feels there's competition, or that literally explains that card. He feels, I'm not saying it's true, but he feels or has felt that there is competition for you. And he feels very out of control about it. This is the Emperor in reverse. He wants to control everything. He wants to control everything even when he's in the upright. But in the reverse, it's even more so. So he feels out of control about what? About whether or not he's being juggled. He thinks you've lost passion for him. Yeah. He thinks you've lost passion, that you don't care about him anymore. Why is that? But all right, let me keep going. Why is he sleeping with anybody? Come on, Tara, give me those cards. If he is, you got to give it to me. Got to give it to me straight. Okay. He's not wanting to surrender or get a new perspective. So he's feeling stuck. Or he could be saying that about you, but I ask how he feels. Yeah, that things here are not stable. And I heard, this is the High Priestess in reverse. It's just when things start to be illuminated. And I feel like this is also talking about, though, somebody not listening to their intuition. I'm feeling like he's over here being this emperor and not listening to his intuition. And that's what's very likely causing this instability. This is also the King of Pentacles in reverse, which, yes, it talks about lacking stability, but it can also be the money's not good. Maybe he's having some challenges with his money or something. Well, I'm not sure whose energy is who here, Kelly. That's the weird thing. I asked how he feels, and it looks like him. But this could just be saying he's not feeling stable about the relationship. Because he hasn't been able to see clearly. But now it's starting to show, because he's definitely got feelings for you. And I feel, so this can be you. I feel like it is, Queen of Cups. Let's just say that's you, but it can also mean I have feelings for you, because we ask, how does he feel? Have to always go back to the question, how does he feel, and is he cheating? That was what I asked. Because in his mind, things are not balanced here with you two. There's not a harmony here, and I don't know what has happened, but he was up in his head overthinking it, and now is starting to have clarity. So I do have two cards here of kind of starting to see the light, so to speak, starting to see more clearly about what? About this. Now, this is the card of lying and cheating and stealing or deception of some kind. But what I do not have here is anything to indicate. In other words, for me in a reading, if I'm asking about somebody cheating, I would have 3 people. I only have one, and I think this is you. One person, could be him, but I don't have the 3 of Swords. I don't have the 3 of Cups reversed. I have no other cards here that talks about him cheating. I think maybe he thought this is him. He thinks you were deceiving him. So he's trying to decide if he's going to work on this, or maybe he's saying, I really don't know if she's going to work on it. There's something here he can't see clearly. Are you guys like not talking, or, you know? That could also be the Hangman. Maybe you're not talking at all. Again, I mean, every time I look down in the deck, I see no cards that indicate that he's cheating. Well, you are talking. Well, ask him about this then. I think this is him. He feels there's something maybe. Let's ask. Shoot, let's ask. What is this Seven of Swords? I think he feels you're deceiving him about something, or that there is some kind of deception going on, and I don't know what that's about. Let's ask. What is this Seven of Swords? Explain this to me, please, Tarot. Thank you, Jay. I love that you do that. I say that every time. Thank you very much. I will check it. Well, actually, let me do it now before I get distracted again. From Anna, okay. Got it. Thank you. Now, Anna, I do not know what your handle is. I can only see Anna on the PayPal, so you may have to. Anna, is that you? Hannah341? If it is you, hold your question. Don't ask your question yet, because it'll get lost in the chat, and I'll just have to ask you again. So just hold your question. And okay, perfect, perfect. Okay. Yeah, just hold your question, Hannah, and when I get to you, which was after Kelly, then I'll come back and ask you. All right. So requited. Oh, well, that's sad. Then that means he doesn't feel you love him the same way as he loves you. Is that what he means or implying? What is this Seven of Swords, please? It doesn't make it true, Kelly. He just might feel that way. Oh, gosh, yeah. Remember this? I talked about these Five of Wands over here. Guess what came out? Five of Wands. So, yeah. It feels to me like, because this can be competition. It can be fighting and competition. I don't want to do this anymore. Now, sometimes this card, the Seven of Swords that we talked about being deception, can be strategy. I'm making a strategy not to fight anymore about something. That's a little bit lesser known, or lesser used explanation of that card. What else? Show me. Kelly, you know I'm going to keep digging. Show me more about the Seven of Swords, please. Yeah, I don't want to fight about this anymore. I don't, or maybe he's also saying, maybe he thinks you don't want to fight for this relationship anymore. Ooh. Yeah, this talks about no communication or no forward movement, no action happening. And the Two of Swords, I think he thinks you are either were juggling, are juggling, afraid you're going to juggle. This has the earmarkings of somebody who's insecure. Can I just say that, Kelly? I don't usually get that meaning from this Emperor in reverse, but I do here. He feels insecure. Maybe he thinks he doesn't want to ask about his concerns. You mean he doesn't want to talk? That could be. He's afraid. He might be afraid. That could be exactly. He's afraid to ask you about this. Yes, that's exactly what that could be. No communication around that issue. Thank you. You need to do the tarot reading next time. That was an excellent call on that. One more card for the Seven of Swords, please. Yeah, I just think that I just keep feeling, and that word keeps coming to me. He's insecure. So, I mean, if you feel good about this relationship, then I think you just need to soothe him, because I think he's questioning it. There it is. I think this is him saying, I think he thinks you're moving on, and it makes him very sad. Or because we are trying to get to, we're sad, I'm sad, and I really want to go to this calmer waters with you. I want things to be nice, smooth sailing with you. And swords do represent communication in tarot. But he's sad and feeling bad about something. Oh, God. Now, I would normally get, this is somebody who's remorseful about deception. But again, what I don't have is other people or the Three of Swords or the Three of Cups. Those are my primary cards that I would get if somebody was cheating. I don't have that. So if there's been deception here, I don't think it's about that. I think it's about something else. Maybe the fear of cheating. Maybe I'm thinking about it, but I haven't done it. Maybe I think you're doing it. All right, I want to ask about his intentions. Maybe that will clarify this for us too. So what are his intentions? What are Seth's intentions toward Kelly going forward, please? All right, I'm going to be strong. Okay. Going to be confident and strong. What else? Uh-oh. 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 Two of Cups in reverse. Let me get some more. It can be a breakup, but maybe not. Maybe I'm going to be, maybe again it's just saying the same thing. I don't think she loves me. Let me get some more cards. Don't panic. There we go. That's better. Tarot is so funny. Remember these two cards? The Eight of Wands and the Seven of Swords. Where is it? The Eight of Wands was here somewhere. I don't know where I covered it up, but anyway. Oh, maybe it was over here. I don't know where it is. Anyway. Yeah. Okay, so I think he's saying, I'm trying to be strong because I don't think she loves me like I love her, maybe, like because you said unrequited, or maybe he doesn't think you love him at all, but he wants reconciliation. Now this can, or a rebirth, this can mean a rebirth in a relationship. Because things are being illuminated. Here again, we've got now another card, the Moon in reverse. It talks about things coming to light that were previously hidden. About, well, we're back full circle, a lack of communication around this whatever deception or strategy. Now, this came out in the reverse. That's good. This is somebody who wants to make amends. It is honestly unrequited, though. I do recognize our bond. I didn't want to hurt him, but I don't see a future with him. Then he's right, and you're just not telling him. That explains this, and it explains this. His fear is true. His fear is true. He would like to reconcile. He's trying to be strong, but he senses this truth that you don't love him. And he'd love that to be different. He'd love things to be, like I said, that's the card of, it's judgment, but it talks about reconciliation. But he has fears about this. And his fear is that you're making a strategy. You're not telling him. Yeah. This is the card about plans falling through. And that, yeah, somebody's not learned their lesson here, meaning him probably. But it also means nobody, this page is not coming forth with the offer, the whatever, the apology, whatever, meaning you. You're not coming forth. You're not meeting him with that. And what are you not bringing forth? Because look, he carries that Ace of Pentacles, which was right beneath it. Even though this is in the upright. So it's saying you're not forthcoming with this offer. This offer that he wants to have with you because you don't love him. And he thinks you've got somebody else in the mix. Now there's the Three of Cups. Yeah, and this is a heavy burden for him. Yeah, so to answer your question, I do not see any signs. I think he thinks you're cheating and moving on, and he's right. You don't. I mean, in terms of it being unrequited, that's the truth of it, and I think we got to that in this reading. But I don't see any cards that say he's cheating, so I'm going to go with no on that. I'm glad I dug, proper English. I'm glad I did some digging on that. All right. We went this knowing it was, yeah. Friends with benefits. Well, maybe along the way he decided that wasn't all he wanted. And he just hasn't told you that because he knew that you didn't feel the same way. Now we didn't ask that question, but that's what this feels like to me. I don't think he planned to get feelings for you, but maybe he did. Or maybe he's feeling, well, if she doesn't care about me like I care about her, she's just going to, even if it is friends with benefits, you usually care about that person to some degree. And he's thinking, well, if she's out there dating other people, I'm going to lose this friends with benefits too. But it feels like this person cares about you. It's, more than that is what it feels to me like, Kelly. I'm not saying he's in love with you. Didn't get those cards. But, again, I don't see cards of him cheating, which was what you asked. Again, he might be thinking about it because he feels like he has no other choice. Eventually, but I don't think he's doing that yet. You're very welcome. You are very welcome. My pleasure. Thank you, Kelly, for the super chat. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Awesome. Yeah, this is my deck that never lets me down. It's always this. I don't use it very often. Y'all don't see me pull that one out often. It's very special. Oh, God, this stuff on my face is itching so bad. I can't tell y'all. Oh. Ladies, please, please, please wear your sunscreen. I talked about this the last live, and it's going to get worse before it gets better. So this whole mess here is just going to turn into a big old ugly, crusty scab. I hate to say that, but it's ugly. It's going to get worse before it gets better, but then I'll have nice new skin under there. So y'all wear your sunscreen so you don't have to go through this. That's why we call it the FU cream when we put it on there. All right, guys, I've got what now? One more. Let's see, Anna or Hannah, 341. Would you go ahead and post your question, please, love? Thank you. Okay, we did that one and we did that one. We're on Ann. Oh, Lord, Linda, I hate hearing that. Eesh. Hello, Jay. Good evening. So, Hannah, 341, or Anna, go ahead and post your question for me, please. Of course, you could have put it on PayPal. Let me look. Oh, I see. You got it there. I see. You're here. Oh, I'm excited too. Ah, okay. Deborah, there's a lot of them going. I mean, I do readings and there's a fair amount. Yes, either third parties or friends with benefits. It does seem to be the growing trend. Okay, Hannah, so you want to know then how he feels about you. What deck? Let me put that down. What deck, please, for Hannah? Okay. No. No. Well, why are y'all being ambivalent? Come on, which deck for Hannah tonight? All right, we'll see. Okay, let's ask about Hannah's Aries. Well, I have a weakness for Aries myself. That's my moon is in Aries, and my last 3 relationships were with Aries. So, yeah, I like Aries. Tell me, please, how does Hannah's Aries friend feel about her? And you're a Scorpio. See, Scorpio and Aries. I'm telling you. I heard an astrologer talk about that one time, and he said there's never any in between in a Scorpio Aries relationship. It's either meh or it's really hot. And I've experienced both. Please show me how the Aries feels about Hannah. You know, I love this little deck, but honest to gosh, it's gotten where it just hardly ever wants to talk anymore. And I don't know what. Did I hurt your feelings? I don't know what I did. You like Aries too, Mish? Yeah. Steamy. He knows he needs to end something with, I presume, this Queen of Pentacles. I presume that to be his wife. This would be somebody, a person who's Can also be saying he's going through an ending with her. But we ask about how he feels about you, so these have to relate to that somehow. And I think he's saying, I have to end something with this person over here. Because the Queen of Pentacles in reverse is needy. She can be codependent. She can be even greedy about money. You know, she's just, yeah, I think that might be his wife. What else? How else does he feel about this situation or potential situation with Hannah? She is, yeah. Yeah, she is. I can feel that too. She almost feels whiny. Sorry, but that's kind of what I feel when I plug into her energy. Okay, well, he's at a crossroads, but he's not doing anything right now. I'm sorry, let me show you the cards. He's at a crossroads. He's been procrastinating. He's not doing anything. He's not coming forward. He's trying not to be curious about you, to be honest. Trying not to go there. Because he knows he needs to leave something, his other situation. He knows he needs to move on from that. Why does that not feel like the card should feel? Okay, I got a whole story here. That's what you get for being an intuitive. This card is a Page of Cups. It can talk about somebody having a crush. Yes, it can. So maybe he's got a crush on you. But the story spirit just gave me about this. This can, it's also can be the card of an apology. And the story I got is he wants to apologize to you if he led you to believe that he's really free to do anything about this, because this talks about a cycle repeating or an ending that hasn't happened yet. It's the World card, but it's in the reverse. So we're back to that. We're bookending this reading with two cards of endings. So he knows this has to happen. And I think that's great. That says he's in... yeah, he's got his priorities right. I'm not saying he'll stay there. He might, he might move on it, but it's saying here that's not where he is right now. This could change. He's saying, I don't want... Either he's saying, I don't want to treat you as an option, or I don't want to pursue options. And because I'm still involved with this other person. This is somebody from the past. But this is talking about reminiscing. This is usually family also, family. He could be waiting on some kind of a payout or money or something, because I've got the Wheel of Fortune in the upright. So that can be saying, you know, if he wants, divorces can be expensive. So maybe it can also be saying he might be staying there because of fortune, money. Yeah. So... all right. They have kids. Yeah, I could feel that. I figured. So this is a classic case of, even though he's unhappy, he's probably staying. He's staying for the sake of the kids and the bank account. Yeah. All right, so let's ask if he has any intentions to come toward you. So in other words, this is like he's not allowing him, we ask how does he feel about you, he's not allowing himself to feel about you. That's good, I admire that. No offense, Hannah. She's a stay-at-home wife, yeah. And she likes that situation that will cost him a lot of money to end that marriage. Okay, I want to know if he plans on taking any actions toward Hannah. Again, no judgment. I never judge people. Hey, Danielle, good evening. But let's see if he plans to take any actions towards you. I know, I say one question and then I just can't help it. Well, I can do that. I can ask another question. It's my channel, right? I'm the reader. Normally, I can't do that if I got people backed up. But you're the last one so far, so I can do that. What actions might this person take toward Hannah? Making amends. Yeah, that's what it felt to me like. Making amends for not doing anything about this and feeling like this is just a missed opportunity. Because he's held back and restricted, even though his relationship may be toxic, he's stuck there. And yeah, even though he's not necessarily happy there, this is giving up hope, which to me, because of the question I asked, it would say he's giving up hope of having anything with you, especially because the Fool in reverse is behind that. So no, according to this, no new beginning. He's not going to make a move. He's not going to make a move. Nope, Hangman in reverse, stuck, not surrendering to the situation. Sorry, Kelly, out in the cold. This is, I guess, kind of saying he's out in the cold with you and you're out in the cold with him, it looks like. Yeah, it looks like he's just going to. This can also, well, no, I asked about you. Starts it could be making amends at home with his wife, but I asked the question I asked with you. So, Kelly, sorry, honey, but I don't think he's going to do anything. He's literally not letting himself feel. I ain't got no feeling cards there. So, if he is feeling something, he's hiding it deep, deep, deep. And it doesn't look like he's going to take any action. And if he tells you he is, I would not believe it. Okay, you're very welcome, Hannah. Let me know, come back and let me know if I'm right. Not because I need to be right, but, I like to follow up with people if the readings help. Awesome. Thank you, Hannah. I so appreciate your purchasing and reading tonight. Thank you very much. I do hope that gave you clarity. Yeah, sometimes we need that, don't we? We need that. All right, good people. I think I'm up to date, unless there was one I didn't catch. Any of my moderators sound off? And if not, let me double check on PayPal. Yeah, I think Anna was, I think you were the last one, Anna. Okay. Hey, Jacob, how you doing? What's up is the price of everything. That's what's up. Okay, perfect, Adia, thank you. All right, guys, last call for a mini reading, or I'm gonna head on out of here. I have gym in the morning. I'm not gonna be up late tonight. I'm not. And members only live chat will be Thursday night. So if anybody's interested in being a member, you'll have to go to my homepage and click on the either join or membership tab. And you can't always see that on Apple devices. You may have to go on your computer or your iPad or something to see that, to see what the perks are. But I do members only live chats, members only content, that kind of thing. So you have until Thursday to sign up if you'd like to be a part of that. And let's see, lastly, because I always forget to mention this, I do also offer private readings. You can contact me by email, Scorpio1111reads@gmail.com, or you can go to my website at darlene.info, Darlene. All right. Thank you to all my moderators. I so appreciate y'all being here. And I'm looking forward to our members only Thursday night. That'll be fun. That'll be fun. Can't be an all-nighter though. Can't be an all-nighter. All right, guys. Well, I don't see anybody else, so I will see you guys, at least my members, on Thursday night, and then for everybody else. Okay, yeah, good. Appreciate you saying that idea. I mean, I don't know what time I'll start. You know, I usually like to kick these off around 5 or 6, something like that. So that'll be my goal anyway. And then I'll see the rest of you good people maybe Friday night, if not the weekend, but probably Friday night. All right, guys, many blessings. I'll see you all later. Bye. Thank you for being here.